Good morning, or evening, whatever time you're watching this. This is morning for me, hence the bed hair. I literally woke up like this. You're lucky to see me like this. Uh, so, today I wanted to discuss the face to face interview or the blue review, just because a lot of people should be receiving information, getting invites. The first round of interviews are coming up, and I just want to make sure that we are well prepared for taking on this interview and that you have a fulfilled and fun experience. If this is your first time going to an interview of this sort, you haven't attended any other companies kind of interview, it may be of a bit of a shock, but ultimately I am going to say that it's an experience and you're definitely going to have fun. There are some things that we cannot discuss about the interview, and in all honesty, you really it's really not that big of a deal if you don't know in advance. Just because I feel like it's part of making the day so special, and just giving you the experience. It's going to be relative to most interview process. The only difference is there's not like an elimination round. So when you go in there, note that you are typically there for the entire day and or until you have completed all the tasks. So you don't feel like you've been shortchanged, like they didn't get a chance to see you shine or your personality. So you have a multitude of people to show your personality off to. You want to make sure that you do show off your personality. So we're going to start with like the basics here. I want to discuss how we should come to the face-to-face or face-to-face interview, how you should be prepared. For first, we're going to start off with appearance. Appearance is really important. I'm a mess right now. Like I rolled out of bed and I walked from my bedroom to my couch. I've had a cup of coffee, but other than that, I haven't done anything. Like I'm kind of afraid to like even take out my trash at this point because, the hair is just limp, kind of not combed. It's hanging here. My face is totally not washed, and I'm in a t-shirt. You should not be rolling in like this. Just a heads up, guess. You should be rolling in looking in your best business professional. If you do not know what business professional is, please, Google is your friend. I know you have the internet because you're on here right now. Google is your friend. Thrift stores are your friends. Like, who cares if someone else wore it? You only gonna wear it for a day. I mean, you go get you a nice blazer, button down, get you something that puts you at business professional. Ladies and gentlemen who have long hair, like I know this may seem asinine, and I look better with like a swoop bang and some volume and hair down. Remember, pull your hair up. You want to definitely look the part. So if that means you do a high, if it means you do semi up, semi down, do whatever you need to do to make yourself look neat and presentable. Closed toe shoes. Like I know that may seem really weird, but closed toe shoes, sandals, open toe shoes tend to convey a slightly less professional image, and you want to set yourself up for success. So image is important. I can tell you there has not been a interview that I have not went to where someone has not made a remark in regards to the physical appearance. And by physical appearance, I mean the image we portrayed out. I know when I went to my blue review, someone went, "You guys all look amazing. You look professional. You look like what we want to have here." So keep that in mind. If you get the position and you make it through training, you are the face of the company. I'm not saying you have to be supermodel gorgeous because look at me, I'm definitely not. But you do need to present your best image. So that means a clean image of yourself, a professional image of yourself. So they will send you a guideline on what they would like for you to dress. And like I thought they were kind of kidding, but no, they really send it and they tell you, like, hey, business professional, these are ideals, and go for that. With that said, let your personality shine in it. Wear what is comfortable for you. If you know that being in some tight pants and a button down shirt is going to make you feel uncomfortable and that may distract you from letting yourself shine, don't wear it. Wear something that fits your personality. Personally, I love wearing dresses and skirts. It's about all I wear. So when people suggested a two-piece for me, particularly like a button down, the only thing I can imagine was all day was fighting with buttons and like trying to like get it over my chest. So I knew I wasn't going to be comfortable. I opted for something that was still within the business professional realm, but that fit my personality and made me feel comfortable. That way, if you're already physically comfortable, it's going to help you relax, which is going to help you throughout this nerve-wracking process. Ladies, if you're wearing dresses or skirts, please don't forget your pantyhose. That's the nature of the beast. I don't like them, but as I said, I like dresses and skirts. Part of the uniform is wearing pantyhose if you're wearing a dress or a skirt. Simple as that. Men, ties. I know ties can be, or so I've heard. Like, I've heard ties can be unpleasant, and I know like a coat may not be, a sport coat or a blazer may not always be comfortable as well, but still, nature of the beast. If you feel like you can get away with just the vest and you can still make that look business professional, go for it, but still keep in mind what you're aiming for. So once you've gotten yourself dressed and you have all your required things to make you look like a nice human being, you're then going to turn around and we need to prepare like our documents. You need to have all of your documents taken care of. Like, I know life happens and things happen. You're traveling from out of state. You're coming here and there. You're nervous, but you need to double check, triple check. Make sure you have your passport. Your passport needs to physically be there. They will check it. This is not like, oh, well, I left it with such and such. No, when you're packing your bag, if you're not used to taking your passport with you on a regular basis, that needs to be one of the first things that goes into your bag. To this day, like, I keep my passport, because it's a requirement for work, almost always with my suitcase. It's not that hard for me to find. If it's not with my suitcase, it's with my purse, because I use it that much and I need to be able to access it. Have your passport. If I believe it's 3 copies of your resume, have your copies of your resumes. I believe they also ask you for a copy of your passport. Have those copies. If you need to go to the FedEx Kinkos, do whatever you need to do. Like, I know some grocery stores will make a copy for you and charge you. If you have like a printer, copier, scanner, do what you need to do, but you do it before you get there. When you get there, you need to be the image of professional and prepared. So have all of your documents set up. If you need to, go buy a little cheap folder. It's back to school time, so you can find folders, you can find binders, whatever you need to make sure your stuff is gathered in one spot. You make sure you have all of that taken care of, everything filled out, everything that they requested, and just have it before you set sail on your journey. Don't say, oh, I'm going to do it at the hotel. Don't say you're going to do it here or you're going to do it later, because then like you'll end up on, like me, the day before my blue review, I told myself I was going to paint my nails. I know that's like really trivial, but like I'm really rough with my hands. And I told myself I would do it when I get to the hotel. Well, my flight was delayed, so I sat in the airport for 4 hours. Then when I got to the hotel, I got lost, and it was just super late. And so by the time I woke up, I'm like halfway painting my nails, and I went with some jaggedy blue. Yep, jaggedy blue. And I say jaggedy because my hands looked a hot mess. Fingernail polish. And that made me feel uncomfortable because I knew I wasn't completely prepared. And my documents, while I did have them, were all over the place. Place everything in one go. It makes it easy for you. When you get to the blue review or you're face to face, listen. This may seem like a really basic thing, but listen to instructions. They're going to tell you everything they want and expect from you. If you cannot follow basic instructions when someone's providing them to you verbally right in front of you in their simple task, you are not going to be suited for working on a plane by yourself when you must remember those instructions and remember those rules, and you have to guide yourself. I'll be honest, like if they tell you, hey, please introduce yourself, state your name, your full name, state your full name. That means your first and your last. Don't just be like, hey, I'm April. Because you'll have them wait and they will prod you. They're not going to be rude or anything of that sort. But you can tell that they're paying attention to you because they asked you to do something. You do need to follow instructions as written or as stated. So once again, if someone tells you to do this task with this and this, do the task that they said. These are very simple things that they're giving you. They're not going to give you something like rub your stomach and pat your head and hop on one leg at one time while barking like a chihuahua. You're not going to have all of that. But what you are going to have are a task or questions given to you, and you need to answer them as is or provide them or do as they say. Once again, we all know everyone's nervous. Everyone's nervous. You're not the only one. I swear to God, I went in and I was dripping and sweat nervous. Like, I literally was going like this because I had sweat streaming because I was so nervous. But you got this. Remember, they would not have invited you this far if they did not see something they didn't like. They already like something in you. Show them what that something is. Now, moving on from there, there was another subject I wanted to touch on as I gather my thoughts because I had a brain fart that coffee's not working. So we're listening, we're going ahead and providing them with the information that they asked for. We're going to boil down to the questions. Once again, go over the STAR method if you feel like you're uncomfortable with answering questions or that you're not going to be prepared. I say have set scenarios from different positions that you worked or your jobs. Go over events in your work day or work life history that you know about, that you feel comfortable about talking about. Basically, I'm saying it doesn't have to be anything that's new. You don't want to be rehearsed, but you do want to be familiar enough with your response. So, like for me, I have a set of events that come from multitude of jobs. These are stories where you've told them to everybody, like everybody. So everybody already know these stories, but you have a time to show it to your interviewee. You want to make sure you have that story and that you're comfortable enough that you can do the STAR method on it, that you can tell them the situation, that you can tell them the task that you had. You can tell them the action that you took and the result of that action. So for mine, this is mine. So, and I actually used this in my interview, so don't you go using it. This is one that I get asked at almost every interview I go to, no matter where. Tell me a time you had to deal with a difficult customer. We all have had difficult customers. We know because we go home and talk crap about them. And I literally said, oh, okay, so I worked in the center, I worked in hotels, and I worked with platinum people, and I dealt with complaint resolutions. And I had a person who called in, and they were very upset because the typer room they wanted was not available. That's the situation. My task was to appease them and get them into a room. My action was to call the hotel, make arrangements, offer the person this. The result of it, while he was not completely satisfied, we did get him to the point where he was no longer upset. Doesn't always have to be a positive outcome, but you do need to state everything in that STAR method. Get used to interviewing like that with your friends, with your families, just telling stories. If you need advice, I can send my fiance. He is so long-winded. He will get all of that for you. And you could just mimic how long-winded he goes. But prepare yourself. Set yourself up. Once again, we know you're nervous. Have fun. The Blue Review is an amazing, amazing time. The people are amazing. I swear I left mine laughing at full volume. And if you know me, I'm really loud. So like everyone knew I was laughing. And I was left hugging people and I had the biggest smile. And I knew even if I didn't get the job, I had like such a great time. And I got to ride on the subway in New York, which probably wasn't as great of a time. But I had like an amazing time with these people. And they made me feel like, oh, I could be that person. So no, you're not going to have a bad time unless you just have a bad attitude. Go in, be prepared, listen, provide great quality interview answers. It is still an interview, a fun interview, but still an interview. Have fun and let your personality sparkle